Good evening, this is Randy. I wanted to do a video. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, and I hope it isn't too negative, but maybe it'll shed light on the position that women are in, specifically as former victims of spousal narcissist predators. So, what's in store for the women who have encountered long-term relationships with a spousal predator? Given that we are able to move on, what is there to move on to at this point? So, let's assume the narcissist is completely out of our life. And let's even assume that the spousal victim still has a home, still has a job, and even has no minor children with the predator. Completely free to move on. Well, one thing is we have a period of lost time. The time that was lost was years, perhaps decades, of our precious lives, and the time was lost because everything that we thought was going on, we discover was not happening. The way that we spent our last 10, 15, 20 years needs to be erased from our mind. For me personally, I wish I had a lobotomy from age 33 to 50. I just wish I could remove the memory of those years. Sometimes. Yet, in a way, I'm thankful because now that I know what I know, I can watch out for it and I can prevent it from happening again. I'm very fully equipped. Sometimes when you're fully equipped, you're jaded. And sometimes you're negative, and sometimes people think you're bitter because you have a realistic view of how things are. Because you've had to look at everything in your life while you were with the narcissist and undo it. Basically, act like and know that it never happened and it wasn't real. So, you thought it was real, it wasn't. Now you know what is real. But people don't like that. They don't want you to know what's real. And they don't like you to tell them what's real or talk about what's real. So we have no support system. Of course, we've already talked about how we can't talk to friends about it and people don't understand. So, lost that. Well, we can't get a lobotomy. So, instead, during our recovery, we do tons of research. We warn new guppies in the process to try to help them from being hurt by our narcissist, because we know what's going to happen and we know what's in store for them. And they don't listen, so that's frustrating. we have nightmares. We go to sleep, we have nightmares. We can't change that. There's nothing we can do about what happens in our sleep. We have memories that intrude, good memories and bad memories. Neither one are good. It's not good if we think about the good days, because then we miss them. And we know they aren't real. And if we think about the bad memories, then we're accused of being negative, bitter, and dwelling on the past. So basically, we can't have any memories. We have to act like our lives did not exist for 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. Then there's the silence. When the narcissist was around, there was a lot of activity. Well, there's nothing now. Not that I miss the negative activity, but I do like activity. And apparently we must have been the type of women who wanted to be married, who wanted a relationship, who wasn't just the type that was happy just being alone or being single all our lives and just, doing our own thing. We were the type of women who wanted a relationship. And we haven't changed. Except we're a lot older. And it's 2015. And the dating world has changed. It's not like it was in the early 90s or the 80s. Some studies say that a woman's marketability starts deteriorating at age 23 and going downhill from there. So, I never really had a problem with age. I didn't have a midlife crisis myself. I thought it was fine. I'm getting old. The narc's getting old. We're getting old together. We're going through this together. I had no clue I was going to have to be out on the dating scene again. I didn't want that. Who wants to be out on the dating scene when you're 50 years old? Who would choose that? It's just the lesser of two evils. It's not freedom. It's not exciting. Oh, it's so exciting. You're dating now. Are you kidding me? It's exhausting. It's a chore. It's disappointing as hell. I mean, dating has been ridiculous. Has turned ridiculous. So, after we have done this therapy, done this inner work, done all this research, try to get ourselves together, make money, keep up a household, and get ourselves to a point where we've spent enough time alone, where we might venture out on a relationship again, knowing what we know, tolerant of nothing, no bullshit. We don't play the game anymore. It's going to be straight up front or nothing. And we can see through all sorts of shit. And I guess that's good, but it's also bad. Because, people aren't getting away with shit with us anymore. And they don't like that. Who's left to even date us? Who's left at 45 to 60 years old? What men are single? And why are they single? We know why we are single. We know why we ended our relationship. But we don't know why their relationships ended. Because guess what? most divorces are initiated by the woman. And why would a wife divorce a good guy? If the guy's not subpar and he's not a narcissist, why did the woman divorce him? Was it because she was a narcissist? And she divorced him, but she was the narcissist? Or in the unlikely case, the man divorced his wife because she was a narcissist? Okay, then we've got another victim. Did those male victims go to therapy? Did they do the research? Are they warning new guppies? Are they having nightmares? Do they wish they had a lobotomy? Are they sitting at home in silence? Did they lose their entire support system? If so, they're having a rough time. But did they do all that work? Or do they just sit in their houses, go to work, and drink alcohol and numb the pain out and watch porn because they've given up? I mean, we know men don't talk about their problems. They don't talk about their issues like women do. Very few of them do. So, what are our options here? You just basically feel very cheated. You feel very ripped off. Even if you can get beyond it and recover, which we can, what we see is that there's really nothing out there to try to strive for other than our own personal jobs and a peaceful life alone, because the narcissist is just the gift that keeps on giving. And whether you left them or they left you, if you spent your prime years with a narcissist, they are years that you need to forget, and they are years basically that were wasted. Sorry if this sounds negative. It's just the way I'm feeling, and I still hope things will change and